Dr. Carol Orsborn and Dr. Robert Weber join us to talk about a subject I think we all can relate to, which is growing older. Specifically, we're talking about this book that they've co-authored called The Spirituality of Age, A Seeker's Guide to Growing Older. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Now, what made you decide to co-author a book to work together on this project?
Well, we're both attending the American Society of Aging, I guess it was around 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Wow, time passes. And Bob had just spoken, and I also spoke at the same conference, and we bumped into each other in a stairwell and had the same sense of what was missing at this conference, and we're so happy to find each other because the gerontological field had 4 buckets. Either people were reviling aging, or they were romanticizing it, and then there was activity theory where you had to keep as active and productive as possible to the very end. And Bob, being a former Jesuit, and myself being a lifelong seeker, we felt like the possibility of aging as a spiritual experience that include contemplation without apology or without guilt was really kind of missing. So we decided to give each other support and kept a phone conversation going about once a week for 4 years now.
That's right.
And decided that we were representing a voice and an undercurrent that really needed to be heard and shared with other people. So ergo the book.
I would agree with you. I mean, I think that this culture, our culture, is so obsessed with youth. When, let's face it, every day, we were speaking earlier, every day we're getting older. From the time we're born, we're getting older.
Right.
Why do you think society attempts to deny that fact and is so obsessed with youth?
I think there's a deeply felt fear of death. Ernst Becker, a wonderful philosopher, wrote a book called The Denial of Death many years ago. And in it, he really put his finger right on what the truth is, that we all are afraid of it. And I think the more we can really look it in the face, whether it's from a faith perspective or some deeply felt belief or meaning, make sense of it. We all can have different people who've helped us to do that, as my mother did with death. And I think it's really important for us to look it in the eye, and I think that's part of the point of our book. Look not just the bright parts of aging, but look at the dark spaces. And if you're able to put those two together, then you will age well.
Now, you talked about faith. How would you define the spirituality of age? You're, of course, the title of the book.
Yes. I think I have reviewed a lot of different definitions in my interest to integrate spirituality into my work as a psychologist. And the best definition I ever came up with came from another psychotherapist who also turned out to be a Jesuit and a priest who died much too young in India, a man named Anthony de Mello, whom some of your viewers probably know. And Anthony de Mello said that aging is first, or spirituality is first of all, waking up. And aging certainly wakes you up when the bones start to creak, when you have aware of the surgeries you need to have. It wakes you up in a funny way, in a way that's scary. And secondly, it's really to get rid of illusions. We live with a lot of illusions, one of which is never say die. It's an illusion.
And we've always been too, as well. I mean, it's the illusion of we build these personas,
right?
And we think we're going to carry it into older age, and then aging strips us often of our identities. We have to suffer loss. We suffer so much, and people can either choose to become a victim of it, or you have to make peace with it somehow. Yeah.
The other thing DeMello says is don't have to be at the mercy of any event, thing, or person. Imagine if your life were lived that way. And I think you're at a point in your life where you can perhaps no longer be at the mercy of all those things. He says, fourthly, he says that you will discover, hopefully, within yourself the gem that you are. Really that you are, as Henry Nouwen so well put it, God's beloved. But many of us don't believe that. He adds a piece to his notion of spirituality, which involves religion. He said, and religion is intended to lead you there. Now, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But if it's working for you, use it, even in the face of your aging.
Well, I think there's so much to cover here that we're going to have you come back. Would that be all right?
Oh, of course. Thank you.
That would be great.
Thank you.
Now, where can people, in the meantime, where can people find out where they can get your book?
We have a website, spiritualityofage.com, and it has spiritual exercises, it has excerpts of the book, and a place to dialogue with us. And it also has links to all the different retailers and online sites where people can purchase the book.
Great, so you can even walk into a bookstore and find it yourself.
Oh, yes, please. Ask your book retailer. That's the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way. I know,
still
I'm bringing
exist.
it back to the
Thank you so
old-fashioned.
much.
Well, thank you again so much
right.
for joining us, and we're looking forward to having you back.
Thank you.
And back to more of This Is the Day.